G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Eno from Fantasy Take TV. Today we're starting a new series called Team Talk where we'll be interviewing a couple of guests in the next week or so leading up to round one just to talk over their teams and get some new ideas, some new thoughts. Today we've got SDS SuperCoach, old Steve. How are you, mate? Welcome onto the channel.
Yeah, g'day, Eno. Great to be on the channel, mate. You're absolutely killing it. And it should be good fun. Just talking a bit of SuperCoach, nothing wrong with it.
Nah, not at all, mate. Keen to get the season started, but the pre-season's fun and all, but you just want to lock in your team so you can watch some footy with I'd say less stress, but it's not really. We're always stressing over the scores and everything, but just want to lock it away and the first ball bounce so we can stop chopping and changing. But you said you're pretty locked in, so I'm keen to see what you're saying. But who's your D1, mate? We'll get started. Got a lot of players to get through, so who you got in D1?
At D1, I have got Tom Stewart. I just think I'm a bit too nervous to not have him in my side. He's just an gun of a player. I think it helps him not being captain, just because I think new captains can sometimes not worry about as much of getting the ball or whatnot, but I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. Hopefully he can just stay healthy and Geelong can hopefully continue that good run of form. They haven't lost since round 9, I believe. So if Stewart can be a massive part of that, that'll be nice and handy for my team.
Yeah, I think I had him at the start when Supercoach opened, and somehow he's found his way out of my team. He's, I think, 34% I'm seeing here. Look, we're blessed with options, aren't we, in defence with all the guys that went off last year, so it's just a matter of who, really. I think we're going to be, whoever we don't start, we'll be looking to pick up, at some point during the year, so nothing wrong with Tommy Stewart. I'm a big fan as well. We'll see what your rest of your structure is. Who you got at D2? You got another 600k guy, or are we going down?
No, I do have another 600k bloke in Jordan Dawes. I'm seeing a lot of people going more your Sam Doherty ahead of him, but I'm just going to back myself in on the Dawson pick. I just think he's still a very good option, super consistent. I really saw off that pre game where he still spent time off the half back and wing, not as good, but he can still score very well on that. And just think that's fantastic. My one concern would be if he could get tagged. I think he's the number one tag candidate, but unfortunately can't in the future. So let's just hope that he spends another season in his top 6.
Yep, I think he will, and I think it might be your team that might be the only concern of tagging him, isn't it? If you got him round 4 or round 5, something like that. So I think you did it last year. I think McGuinness went to him, so that's the only thing I'm nervous about starting him. He's in my team as well, but yeah, you're probably going to tag him again, aren't you?
Yeah, we got him. We got Adelaide round 6 in Tassie. I'm actually going to that game, so
sweet.
Pretty keen for that. Yeah, hopefully Dawson does well.
It'll be a dirty day for him. Yeah,
it'll be hard.
I've looked at it. I think he salvaged an 80 last year
in the side.
So, yeah. D3.
That's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. You take that.
D3. I've got Jordan Ridley. This is the first time this guy's been in my side all pre-season, but I just like it. I think Essendon is certainly going to go more of a possession style game plan by the seams of it from Brad Scott and all that. And I think I've heard as well that Ridley's not going to be the like a lockdown defender. He's going to be more your third tall defender. And I like that a little bit more. He's going to get a little bit kicks, a lot more kicks, a lot more marks. So I'm just pretty happy with Jordan Ridley. I like him a bit more ahead of Young and Dacos around that price.
Yep. Yeah, I actually think I might agree at that price. He's definitely shot himself up there, but look, owning him a couple of years ago was unbelievable until he got concussed. But yeah, I've seen a few people more jump on after the last practice game. So interesting to see how that goes. I don't think I'll go for it myself, but yeah, I can totally see it working. Obviously, a bit of a discount, which is nice. Is this where we finally see Elliot Yeo? Is he at D4?
Yeah. This is where we see him. So I guess a little bit top heavy in the back line, but I like having a pretty even amount of premiums in each line. Elliot Yeo, I think it's just a price that's just a bit too hard to say no to.
Yeah.
We've seen the scoring in the past. He's just a very good player. I think West Coast is still going to play a bit more chip style, and in the back line, and I think Elliot Yeo is just going to be fantastic. And I think he was in an interview with Ryan Daniels the other day, and he was just saying how this new strength and conditioning coach has just been absolutely amazing for him. So I really like the sound of that.
Yep. Yeah, I just don't see how you can't pick him really, and that ownership would scare you too doing so. But look, his body hasn't been good to him, so hopefully he can get a good run in it. He's a sneaky chance to be a keeper. We'll see, but he's definitely a very good starting selection. All right, just tell me your 4 rookies straight off the bat, because we don't want to talk too much about them. Things can change, especially with those. So who have you got to round out the defence?
Yeah, to round out the back line, my D5's Ruben Ginby, Ginby, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Connor McKenna at D6, Darcy Wilmot at D7 and D8. I've got, I think Carlton fans are going to nickname him Moo, Lockie Cowan.
Yep, they'll nickname someone. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, we'll see. One of those boys hopefully gets a chance at the Blues. So, we'll just see which one that is, and then the Brisbane boys. Hopefully as well. Both of them play, but it might only be one. We'll see. So, there's a few options. I think that Crows rookie Michelini's supposedly locked into play. So if we need a fallback, we sort of can. And then I think we'll see Ginby. We'll see Ginby in everyone's team pretty much after how good he looked sort of last week. So, we won't speak too much on them. We'll have to see who gets named really next week. So, midfield, who we got at M1?
M1, I've gone Laird ahead of Oliver.
Yeah.
So Rory Laird. I don't really want to try to take too much out of preseason games, but he just looked unreal to me. There's no signs of him slowing down. Looks like he's got the exact same role, the exact same sort of style in the midfield. Just looks fantastic. And I think for me, I don't think you can go wrong with either pick. I'm just preferencing Laird over Oliver. But I've gone with Laird, and I think he's a pretty safe captain for near on every week.
Yeah, I don't know if you owned him last year, but me, myself, not having him just every week, he was just pumping out a 120 and you just couldn't get him in. He wasn't dropping in price. So I could see why a lot of... You did? Yeah, you would have loved it. But obviously 700k you got to pay at the start of this year to have him, and people aren't hesitant to do it, really. I think he was 10% early on, but he's shot up to 25% owned now, and people are just going, just got to lock him in. I'm curious to see how many go on both of those, because I've tried to make teams with them both, and it's pretty tough. It might leave you thin on the bench, certain rookies we need. So you've kind of already said you've only got the one, and Led's your preference. So, I think more people are switching towards that, which it's hard. They're both guns, him and Clary, but...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think you can really go wrong. All right, so who's M2 then?
M2, I've gone Bont. I remember last year in my side, it really hurt me. I picked McRae, Steele, and Took all in my midfield, and that just really hampered my side. So certainly going with a more different strategy of certainly chopping down the price of some of these premiums. So in Bont, I just think his ceiling's unreal. And I think last year as well, we didn't see too many scores that were poor. There would be the odd couple of 88s and 92s and all that, but his ceiling's absolutely massive. I think it's crazy if Bevo moves him off the half forward line now without Dunkley. He's by far and away their most impactful mid now, and he would have rocks in his head to do something like that. So I just think it makes sense for the Dogs to just keep pumping 80% CBAs into Bontempelli, and he'll be flying, and I think he's a chance for the Brownlow.
Yeah, he's a big Brownlow tip, I see, for a lot of people. He's only 30% owned, so look, it's crept up a bit, but I feel like he should be more, really. Like, he's one of the first picked I had this year, just with everything sort of falling into place. Dunk's gone. He's in the absolute prime of his career, like, at his age. He's going to be in for a big, big year. And if the Dogs kind of got something to prove, and with his forward time too, they've got all that tall timber now. Like, they've got quite a bit of stocks down there now, so he shouldn't really be required to go forward too much. He still will, of course. He's, a nightmare matchup, but he's just going to shit out points, really, to be frank. So anyway, who's M3?
I've gone a little bit light in the midfield, but I've gone Tom Green.
Yep.
So 534k, I think he's obviously the ideal player that everyone thinks that is going to break out, and I don't see any reason why he doesn't. Because I could just see him having like an Andy Brayshaw, being the Andy Brayshaw of 2023, to be honest. And I think he's just an absolute gun when fit and firing. The main issue would be if he doesn't carry out the end of the season. But
Yeah.
look, I think those early points, early days, are just really going to hurt coaches that don't own him, because of the Giants' early fixture.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic. So I've just locked in Tom Green there.
Yep, I was hesitant very, start of preseason when the game opened, but quickly onto him, and I think everyone sort of followed suit now. He's up at 30%. As you said, the fixture's nuts. He looks primed, big preseason there. Talking him up, but can he last 23 rounds it is now? Not sure, but the 36 trades probably help into that if we need to, sideways him late on. So he just helps your team a lot. 530k, you can sort of plug him in and not have to spend up on one of the 600k guys. So I like it. Who's M4, mate?
All the way down to Jacob Hopper.
Yep,
hasn't left my side at all. I've seen him drop a little bit in price recently, but I think those are just people that are overthinking it. I think you just got to get him in your side. It'd be one of the easiest picks all year. I think he's got a great role for Richmond. There's no reason why he'll be playing elsewhere or whatnot. And Richmond are in dot. I thought I saw Richmond certainly need midfielders, new crop of midfielders in 2022, and I just think Hopper's going to slot in nicely along with Taranto as that new look Richmond midfield. So definitely Jacob Hopper's got to come in.
Yeah. The only thing I see wrong that could go wrong possibly is he's hasn't played much footy. That's it. He hasn't played much footy. He had a bit of a knee problem that sort of kept him out last year. That's the only reason this isn't going to work. The role's there. The price is, way undervalued, and his ownership's pretty high too. So you'd be a big man to bet against it. If something goes wrong with injury, you cop that on the chin. With a few options around actually at his price in the midfield. So I think you just go it. He's going to be in the guts the whole time. He doesn't really play anywhere else. He's not versatile, really. He's not much of a great forward, or can't go anywhere else. So, I think he's a pretty easy pick. Who's next, mate? M5.
Finn Callahan from the Giants, gone for another midfielder. I think last year, because of how big I went in the midfield in terms of price, it really affected me on some of my mid prices, and I think we're starting to move to more of a mid-priced sort of structure here. So I've certainly added a couple more in, and Finn Callahan, sounds like he's going to play more on a wing, but I don't think there's any reason why he can't get, 20% CBAs or whatever, and just make a great impact. He was pick 2 for a reason. Oh, he might have been pick 3. Pick 2.
Same thing.
And he just looks brilliant. Just absolute all class, and hopefully I think he only needs to average like maybe mid 70s just to get up to, I think, just even to 100k, and I think he's more than capable of doing that. So Finn Callahan for me at M5.
Yeah, I think it's 75 or something like that. You're right. So look, on a wing, he didn't get a single CBA last week, which is a little concerning, but as you said, he might be able to work his way into a few of them as the season goes on. I think he's going to be an absolute gun for the future. It's just whether or not he can back it up this year with a mostly wing role. Yeah, we'll see. But that fixture's good. It might be easy anyway. Might be plenty of ball out there. As we said, who's M6?
M6, Will Ashcroft. Won't spend too much time on him. Just an absolute lock. Hopefully he gets just a fantastic role, and I'm sure he'll get a bit of midfield time, and he'll be fantastic. Just lock him in.
It's pretty crazy. I'll ask you one thing. Could he go triple figures? Like what? Nick Dacos went 92 or something. Could he go triple figures in his first year? We've never seen it. It'd be pretty crazy, but
nah,
it's too hard, isn't it?
It'd be a bloody good effort just to reach Nick Dacos. But hopefully he has a great year, the young man. I think he's got a very good future. Yeah.
All right, who fills out the midfield here? Is this where the rookies, rest of the rookies go?
Cam McKenzie and Will Phillips rounding out my M7 and 8. I'm not a massive fan of having both on the field, but I guess to start with McKenzie, I think it's a little bit different to Josh Ward, where he's a beautiful user of the ball. and I think that makes a massive difference. He actually got CBAs inside for the Hawks in that Pies game, so that's very handy. Mitchell loves playing the young blokes, so that's obviously going to be very important. His job security would be very good. So I think he's, for me, you just got to lock him in, because I don't think there aren't too many good, I guess, midfield rookies at this stage. So he's just a bloke where you just hope he can get to 300k, and I'd very much take that. And then to Will Phillips, I'm still a little bit confused as to why I guess a lot of people are jumping off, maybe because due to, not jumping off, but maybe moving into M9. But maybe that's because of the poor preseason match against the Dogs, or also the lack of midfield rookies at the minute at the base price. But yeah, I think third year in the system, pick 3. I think Clarko loves him, and I just think he's in for a very good year. He's had a full preseason, so I'll just back him in, and hopefully, some of these rookies pay off at the end of my midfield line.
Yeah, I think you said it, Cam McKenzie. He's going to get a lot of opportunity, and I think it's the same with Phillips. Like, he plays for North. He's missed the year with Glandular, but they're going to want to give him time and give him games and just feed him opportunity, because he's missed a whole year, and they invested a high pick into him. So, I get not having him on your field. You'd be maybe a little bit nervous, but he's going to get an opportunity early. They have some decent fixtures in the first 3 or 4 rounds, I think. So, if you've got a decent backup, you might be able to bench him for some weeks. But yeah, who fills out the bench, mate?
Charlie Constable. I'd love him in the back line, on the back line bench, but just not liking the midfield rookies at this stage. So Constable's in there. Oscar Baker, who I think's just bought himself a spot for round 1, and Campbell Chester. Who knows if he plays? But I'd love to know who other options there are.
Yeah, we won't spend too much time on it, but maybe like Alwyn Davey, I guess you could have there if you don't have him forward. But with your team just there, like we were saying, Constable, like you'd probably get him on field for Will Phillips in certain weeks and whatnot. So yep, don't mind that. All right, the rucks. Who we got here, mate?
All right, I'll just spit both of them out. Jared Witts and Rowan Marshall for me. I'm really targeting the solo rucks, because this tactical sub rule, in my opinion, it's really going to mess up some of the cash cows and all that. And I think it's going to cause a lot of trouble this year. And Witts won't get subbed off in my book if he's a solo ruck. Same with Rowan. They're just both so important. So I'm just eyeing up the solo rucks and, just locking them in. I think, Witts has had a full preseason. He didn't last season. He scored brilliantly. So, Rowan Marshall hasn't missed a beat at all. So they both look fantastic. And, I guess besides your man Shrek, not really seeing anyone else as to who I'm liking. So, I've locked in those 2. And Madden's my R3. Blue pole ahead of Mick Andrew. Yeah,
it's really narrowed down, hasn't it, mate? Like, Marshall, everyone is going to lock in. That's pretty much a no-brainer. And it's just really Witts, as you said, big Shrek, and maybe like there's a few still going Tim English, I guess, but a bit of an interrupted preseason makes you a bit nervous, especially if you were an owner of him last year. Just really did us dirty towards the end. So, absolutely. We know. I don't mind it. Locking in Witts, you know you're going to get. Should play every game. Obviously don't wish any injury on anyone. He's pretty durable, and he's just got that number 1 role. So maybe it's a slight overpay, but I don't totally hate it. In the end, all right. Down to the forwards. We'll finish this off. Who have you got at F1, mate? It's pretty simple.
Do I even have to? No, I'll say Josh Dunkley. I think rocks in your head if you don't pick him. He's just the biggest lock of all time. Last year we'll see him in the forward line as well. So just enjoy it while you can.
JD actually said it to me and Jules the other day. Could he be the number 1 averaging player on the season? Like, he did do like 125s, 130s in like 2019 when he got the full mid-roll. Like, it's been, he could be up there. So it's a shout, I guess.
Bloody close.
He'd be up there.
Close. I'm telling you.
All right. Who have you got F2?
Connor Rozee. He's going to be spending a lot more time into that Port Adelaide midfield as they look to I guess transition a little bit. I think they need a little bit of a shake up, and Connor Rosie's certainly going to give that as a midfielder for Port. Looks unreal.
Yep.
Future top 5 player in the comp for me. I can understand the hype that Kane Corns gets for this man. It's just terrific. So yeah, I love his work, and I think he's just a great option at F2.
Yep. No, I agree with everything you said. I think he's in 45% of teams, so I think most are switched on. But F3, is it Timmy Taranto?
It is Timmy Taranto.
Yep.
As a pretty similar, I guess, to what I've said about Hopper, but he's going to have a lot of time in that midfield. Rejuvenated Richmond midfield, and I think, hopefully his disposal efficiency can stay in good tact. That would be my one concern, but that's not stopping me from picking him. So definitely Taranto's in my side, no doubt about that.
Yeah, it's probably one thing that will hold him back from like a 110 plus, but he'll be in the 105 to 110 range, I think, with that opportunity. So, I think he's pretty easy to pick. F4, mate. This is getting a bit interesting. We got Errol.
Yeah, I've got Errol.
Hey.
I have got Errol Gordon. I've got my man. I bought the hype.
Don't worry, mate. You're not alone.
No. I'll admit to it. He wasn't even close to my side. But when you see a performance like that, it's just hard not to.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, he can be at my 23rd premium on the bench.
Yep.
So that's just how I see it. And hopefully he can be a top 6, top 8 forward, including the DPP. So I've heard talk of Callum Mills spending a bit of time in the back line a bit more this year. Do you move someone like Luke Parker maybe as of his time and maybe move more onto a half forward? So I just see things like that. Yeah. And maybe I'm just more hoping than logical thinking. But yeah, I just had to lock him in. I'm happy with 12 premiums in my side as well because, it's just the ideal situation for me.
Yep. Beautiful. So do we end with the rookies here? Who have you got? Or you'll have a little bit of a mid-pricer, won't you?
Yep, I've got Sam Flanders.
Yep.
As I've said, I want to incorporate a couple more mid-prices in my side. Didn't want too many of these sub 200k blokes on my side.
Yeah.
So I've gone Sam Flanders. Obviously, it doesn't look like he's going to get CBAs, but he's pushing up to that high half forward role. I think one of the SuperCoach YouTubers said almost like a Dylan Moore type. I think that'd be very handy. We've seen his VFL numbers in the past. It's just absolutely nuts. Gold Coast have hyped him up like no tomorrow. So, I mean, from the sound of it, I mean, there's no reason why he can't get to 400.
Yeah.
So that's just how I see it.
Yep. No, I've actually got him as well. Yeah, like he didn't get a hell of a lot of mid-time, but I think Tuke will just slot in for, I think it was Davies that was playing. He'll probably just, straight in, straight out, and then he'll just play a lot up around the ball. Like as you said it, he's like a bit like Dill. Like he gets 25, 30 touches playing off the half-forward flank, which Dill can do. So it's a bit similar to that. So yeah, look, he may not make 150, but I think he can still make 100 plus, and hopefully we'll just get a big game from him at some point.
Absolutely.
It's all about getting the rookies off the field, isn't it? Because especially in the forward line, there isn't much chop going around. So,
No.
Who have we got at F6? Is it McLean?
I've actually haven't got McLean in my team at the minute. To be honest, I'd wish I could, but I just couldn't quite fit it in.
Yeah,
so I've gone with Radicalia, so it's a quick swap if I change my mind.
Yeah.
But I've got the big Sav.
Yeah.
I'm just not liking the look of McLean's role.
Yeah.
I mean, if I absolutely need to, it's a correctional trade, and if he's going to make a bit of money, if it looks it. But I've gone Radicalia, who's going to be playing more, I think, a full back role.
Yep.
No Jack Henry for a while. Hawkins out early days. I'm just a bit more comfortable with that. If Witts or Marshall have an absolute shocking injury round one, I guess for now I can just swap Matt and Radicalia and he can be my R2 sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm just going to lock in Radicalia. I prefer his role over McLean.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, who's on the bench? Fergus, surely?
Yep, Fergus Green. I've been hot on him all pre-season.
He looked really good.
And finally, everyone's listening, finally. And Alwyn Davey Jr. in my to round out my full line and my team.
Beautiful. No, that's good, mate. So, 12 primos. I think I'm the same. One person isn't in your team, I want to ask you about because you are a Hawks man. James Warple. Now, is there a reason? Just
Yeah.
could fit him in, or what are your thoughts on him?
I'm going to be honest. I just rate him as a footballer. I'm going to be honest. I just don't think he's that good.
Yeah.
And I want to watch players that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
And Warple just tears my hair out. I mean, I don't think it's a bad pick at all. Like if you, to be honest, like I prefer him over a Sheed.
Yeah.
Prefer him over a Bruin, stuff like that. But I think he'll just drive me mad. Like it just brings me flashbacks last year. Him getting 4 disposals in the midfield against St Kilda. Like, absolute worst performance I've ever seen out of a midfielder. So, yeah, no, I haven't gone for him.
Yeah.
I won't rule him out, I guess. But, look, for now, I'm probably steering clear. But I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah. Nah, fair enough. Just wanted to ask you that because I know George has really tossed him up. There's a few people. I think he did a poll on Twitter yesterday and it was like 60-40 or, percent. The poll went whether you have him or not. So it's pretty close, people going with him. And I don't know what his ownership shot up to, or not shot up, but about 13%. So
it's not that high, I don't think.
No, it's not that high. I thought it actually might be higher, but it's not too high. So yeah, I mean, he'll get the opportunity early, but could he lose it? Like, if he's not putting in good performances in 3 or 4 weeks with, don't you have like Cooper Stevens not out at the not healthy at the moment, and Ward will be in there, won't he? So yeah. Could he lose a role maybe at some point? Or they just
I guess we saw last year that his job security isn't that great. So if he's putting in poor performances, then they'll reassess. But all the hype's been around him. So I guess we're in for a good year of James Warple. So we'll see what that translates to.
Yeah.
But I think Cooper Stevens not fully ready early. I think it'll be early days in the VFL.
Yeah.
I think Mackenzie will spend a bit of time in there. Will Day certainly seems like he will as well. Probably not enough value for Day, but yeah, I think Warple will be fine. Like I can totally understand the pick. I just don't enjoy watching him. He drives me mad sometimes.
No worries. We'll leave it there. Cool. Thanks for coming on, mate. That's good. Good to get a bit of differing views. We got some players the same, but of course we're always going to. But Shrek over Wits, like for me, obviously he's a bit cheaper. He gives you that extra cash to maybe spend on some rookies. Like I know you got Sav at F6. Like if you had him at R3, maybe you could spend that extra cash and get Toby McLean as well. As Sav R3. Like obviously that hampers you a bit there, but hey, you got to be happy with your side. You got to pick who you want. So we'll see, mate. Good luck for the year. Where can all the fans or all the viewers find you? SDS SuperCoach. It's right there anyway, bottom right. So head over and check his channel out. You'll be doing videos every round this year, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll try to do 3 or 4 vids a week. If I have the time, of course, I'll try. But thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure being on here. So. Good to see you, mate. Might have to get you on my channel one day. Yeah,
I'm keen for that, mate. Yeah, we might do a bit of analysis or something after one round or something. See what we think. There's early on, it's going to be big with trades to be made. I think I'm going to be more aggressive than I was last year. How did you go last year, by the way, with like the boost and all that? Just before we go, did you find it all right? Did you? What sort of strategies did you take in, or are you going to take in from last year to this year?
I guess the starting team was very important for me this year to not get that wrong, because after round 1, I guess you can't take too much into it, but I was 55k after round 1.
Yep.
And then I guess in around round 6, I was about 20k. I finished on 2001.
Yep.
Last year. So that was thanks to good trading, but I think it's just all about nailing the starting team. Less of these sub 200k blokes on my side, less first year players on my side, not spending too much on certain premiums and just spreading it more around and building more of a real solid team. And I guess I would say Radicale is probably the worst player on field.
Yeah.
So that just been my strategy, just making sure I nail this team.
Yeah, there's a bit to learn from last year. I mean, I don't think we'll quite get all those players that were popping off like they were at an undervalued price, but there'll be a few, and obviously it's probably just opened everyone's eyes to look at them more, just give them more of a chance, right? Usually I just used to
Absolutely.
ignore them all. Like, why the hell would I want
Same.
these blokes at 300k? You know, they're 300k for a reason. They suck or they're injured or whatever. But
Spot on.
yeah, there's definitely, if you can, analyze them individually. If they're a good pick, then there's no reason you can't go them. So anyway, thanks for coming on, mate. We'll see you later in the year, and good luck for the season.
Thank you very much, Enno. Cheers.
Got the mojo deals, we been tripping like the 80s. Pulling out the coupe at the lot.